Okay, now we've got the bearings installed on this motor. We're going to get it ready to put the new shaft in, and we're going to make the mods I want to be able to use a collet style prop adapter on the front, because I have to replace the bent one. And this motor is discontinued from Heads Up RC, but it shouldn't be a big problem to just make the mods, put a longer shaft in, and getting this thing set up for a collet style running. So I got my new motor shaft. This is 60 millimeters long, 4 millimeter shaft, so it's great. What I want to do is make sure I have enough shaft coming out of the front of the bell housing, shell, rotor, whatever you want to call it, to seat this down so it gets a full grip on the shaft, and still have enough shaft going through the back of the motor that it will allow me to put my retaining collar on. So I'm going to measure this out and just put this down on here, use a Sharpie, and make myself a mark on the shaft about where I want it to be. I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. I want to possibly take and grind a flat section on this shaft that will match up to the set screw here. That way I can lock it in straight and won't be any worry about it, the shell being able to outturn the prop and slip and carry on. So this shaft, although it's a 4 millimeter shaft, it slides in very easily, amazingly easily actually. Alright, so right there is where I want it to be. I'm going to tighten the set screw up on the hole there. And just, let's see, here's my green mark. Right about there. I'm going to tighten this off. And really, if you can help it, you don't want any more shaft sticking out than is necessary. So you put it down and put the assembly together and clamp the prop on there and be good to go. The less shaft you have sticking out, the less likely you are to bend it. Especially if you had to clamp like here and you had this much shaft left, and then the leverage and the accident can cause that to bend real easy. So we're going to try to avoid that. That looks good. It looks like it's bottomed down pretty well. I like it. And with that tightened up, now we can test fit this into the motor assembly. I'm going to roll this with the new bearing. Oh yeah, much quieter. Whoop! See that back bearing pop out? I figured it would. Ah. She's got a death grip on me. There we go. Let's put this in again. Yeah, okay, good. Now we'll try this again. Gently. Ah, okay. Now you can see the motor has shaft sticking out of the back, the right shaft out of the front, and that should be sufficient enough amount of rear shaft to be able to install my collet, if I can find it, on the back here. Yep, actually leaves me some reveal, so that'd be great. And so what I want to do is cut a small flat in the back of this part of the shaft, and I want to cut a flat on this part of the shaft so that I can put the set screws in and get them down against her. That way there won't be any twisting or binding. You know, the torque of the motor with the prop on the front of it, if this was to slip at this joint, this shell would actually rotate without the prop moving, and of course cause slipping and lack of power, and I've had it happen. So we want to negate that problem as much as possible. So that's going to be the next step. I'm gonna modify the shaft. Now I'll probably take it out to the garage and take it to the grinder, just make a couple of flats, and then we'll go from there. We'll reassemble it. But that should be completely freshened up. I think I got a prop laying here, just temporarily. This isn't the actual prop for it, but this just gives you an idea. And I should have this motor back in action. So let me take this shaft and mark a couple things here, and we will head out to the garage and make our flat spots, and we'll be good to go. Okay. There we are. Okay, so I went to the garage and I ground the necessary flats. I mean, you could probably get away without doing it, but the size of this motor and the fact that it swings 10 to 11 inch props, and it's considered a sport motor, so it's pretty high speed. I want the assurance of a positive lock on my grub screws, so we're gonna start assembling this thing, and we're going to first of all pull the grub screw out. We're going to put a little bit of this lock seal adhesive in here, basically Loctite. Alright, we're going to put a little dot of Loctite on there, just enough to wet it, basically. You can see it kind of wet it, yeah, just a little dot, that's all I need. I'm going to line up the flat eye cut with the hole for the grub screw. I can play with this adjustment just a hair. Just like that. Not exactly where we need to be. I'll go ahead and fire the grub screw down the hole. Okay. That should be good. And just tighten all she'll suffer. Okay. That end of the motor is ready. You already seen me do this once, but we'll just do it again. This will be the assembling of the motor unit. Knock the bearing out again. No big deal. Now I really don't have to put those copper washers on the end of this. There's no real need for it that I can see, but you know, just in case of rotation, I'm going to put one in between it, just for a wear bushing, let's say. In case, I don't know, the shaft wants to spin a little easy in the bearing or something, and instead of the aluminum rubbing against there, we'll just use that as a kind of thrust washer in between. I didn't put a drop of light hobby oil on that, just to be on the safe side. Probably wouldn't have to, but I think I'm going to. Why? Just because. Oh, here, if you're a slot car guy, there's a blast from the past. Here it is. X2C racing oil, AFX Plus. I have more than one hobby, you know. So put a little dinger of X2C on here. Ooh, look at that. Alrighty. Squirrel that around a little bit there. Make it good. Okay. And we'll just line this guy up. And you know, probably ought to put a drop of the magic blue goo on here just while we're at it. Loctite. There it is. Yep, okay. Good enough. I have to give you a tube of that. Yep. And we'll line up our locking collar with the flat. You can tell you're getting on the flat. See how I can wiggle that? That's going down on the flat. Yeah, just what we want to do. And we'll tighten him off good. There. He can't go anywhere. Checking for free spin. Oh yeah. Rolls nice. Motor sounds good. Doesn't feel too tight. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and throw the X mount on the back here. Alright. Go ahead and hook him up here. Let's see how he sounds. He's a runner. Oh, and it's smooth. Much smoother. Okay. So there it is. Modified. Ready for a prop. And that is a motor refurbished. New shaft. Be able to handle a collet. Fresh bearings. He is good to go. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate you hanging out with me here and learning a little bit about how to tear one of these motors apart. Hope you learned something from it. If you like it, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to try to do more how-to videos in the future. And we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.